Hey guys, Barco Watch is in full effect. Will the saga end before the new year? Hashtag free Barco. Welcome to the show, 5-Star Fam. I'm AJ, and with me is Tanner McLeod. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button. So MLS announced season openers for the entire league, and this year we open at Houston, away at BBVA Stadium, and then we have a home opener at Mercedes-Benz versus DC United. Of course, our old nemesis, who we cannot beat for some reason. 3 losses in 3 games. It's crazy. But I think this might be an L for our first home game because I think they have some voodoo over us. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't like starting off on the road. That's going to be a tricky fixture. Houston's not a bad side, but I mean, it's good to go ahead and get something like that out of the way off the get-go. I think you'll realize how good your team is very quickly.
Yeah.
I have no problems playing DC this early, actually. I think United are better than them. I just think it was just crap luck that we didn't beat them at all last season.
Yeah.
I mean, they just got us at bad times.
Right.
I think the improvements we're making in the offseason, I think in the bins, I think it's going to be a full house, 70,000 plus, breaking whatever records we continue to do.
Yeah.
We're going to do our thing. We're going to put 4 past them or something. I honestly, I think it's fine. I have no issues about it. Bury that demon quick. Get it out of the way with. Get them done. Beat them however many times we play them this year.
Right.
But I'm really actually excited to see the rest of the fixture list. I mean,
For sure. That hasn't been released yet.
Right.
And, hopefully we find out soon so we can all start scheduling the rest of our year.
I'm curious to see how the end of the season is going to go. Like, I want to see how those fixtures are going to end up because it's going to be packed. It's a World Cup year. It's going to be cramped. Right. Everyone's going to have the fixtures this time. Just that pile-up's just going to happen.
Exactly.
But it's going to be tough to see that many home matches in that amount of time.
Right.
So now I think a lot more of those are going to be on the road. So I think that as the team's improving, it's going to be tougher. I think the end of the season will be tough for everyone, but hopefully with this depth we're trying to add and this talent, United are going to come through that and breeze through it. So,
and definitely with our USL team, that actually adds more depth to our squad that we can pull from, and the likes of Andrew Carlton and Chris Goslin and other people that can help that could have really made a huge difference last year are able to make an impact this year. And to your point about DC coming in at home at the Benz, they haven't been to the Benz yet.
They haven't.
So
it's gonna be wild.
They're usually they play to, no offense to them, very empty stadiums, and so it being that raucous is like a big difference for them.
I think so. Play. I mean, I'm excited. They weren't good last year. I mean, they could be good this year because MLS, you can see teams turn around very quickly, although DC have not been great in the past few seasons.
And they lose Bill Hamid.
Yeah, they lose their keeper, who, I mean, was definitely good in all 3 of the matches that United played.
So
I think it was fluky that they beat United 3 times.
For sure. It was very smash and grab.
Yeah.
They and so we, to speak to your other point, our lineup is different now, and we have with Nagby and hopefully Barco, the personnel to break down deep lying teams.
Exactly.
So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
Maybe it's a very good test in the very beginning, so that then we play other teams that maybe won't bunker in as much.
Absolutely. Expansion news, United fans. If you were ready for that Nashville trip, well, guess what? MLS has announced that Nashville Soccer Club could be joining the league as early as 2020. They're going to be building their own soccer-specific stadium, 20,000 capacity, 4-hour drive. Sounds like a actual rivalry. The talking's done. It's going to happen. Now only 2 years till we actually get to play them in the league.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough part, the wait. But we're definitely excited to have, in very, very close proximity, someone that, we can get a proper away day and a good derby atmosphere because, you want to have, a lot of away fans for it to be kind of, maybe it becomes toxic in the future when, there's some banter back and forth. But, one thing that we do know, FC Cincinnati fans are very butthurt. They called Atlanta United the villains on Twitter in a post. they said that the success there or here has MLS convinced that soccer will work anywhere that fits their demographic and ownership model. D2 or proven support is not required. Those are okay. Wow. So that point is very clear. You guys, we're sorry that we were very successful in the first year and just did it right. I mean, I think it's a little, yes, I understand that a lot of the teams are moving to a kind of hipster city. Nashville is a very up-and-coming
Portland's
city.
been in the league for almost 7-8 years now.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a new thing.
Exactly, and they have tremendous support as well. So I think blaming us, if in quotes or not, it's just a little. It's a little too much. It's just,
I mean, if you want to be upset, we'll just play you in a few years because you're going to get your own team. Don't worry.
You guys
Detroit's
deserve one.
not going to get one because Detroit and Sacramento can't find the money. And you guys have an amazing fan base, and I'm being nice now. When we see you guys in a few years in the league, look forward to beating you.
Right.
But to go back to more of the Nashville point, I think we talked about it some in some of our previous podcasts.
Definitely.
It's not 8 hours away, thankfully.
Exactly.
It's not going to be a forced rivalry, I guess you could say, with Orlando.
Right.
I'm excited about it. I'm hoping that it turns in, especially with a 20,000 seat soccer-specific stadium.
Sure.
That's fantastic. I'd love
It's
nothing
very
more than
intimate.
intimate. Good setting. Kind of reminds you of like a smaller team in the Premier League or in the Championship. Those can be really hectic, busy games, and
For sure.
I'm excited about that. Hopefully, they can have some good matches at the USL level, so we can start building that rivalry up.
Right.
I hope our team beats them at that level too, because I don't want to lose them even at Tiddlywinks.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about it. I love the idea of an away day. I mean, it's not something we really have here in America because everything's so spread out. But I think if the culture you see here in Atlanta, especially because I feel like there's an MLS Cup between now and then for United.
Yeah.
So you can have a team that has success going to a place that's trying to follow the same model.
Right.
And I do want them to follow the same model because I want them to be good. Obviously, I want them to be not as good as us, but I'd love to see them. I want Nashville to be as successful as possible because then that makes the rivalry better. It makes the away day better. I love the idea of top two clubs going at it because then your rival's close. Everything's there. It means more, and I love it when everything means more. And when it starts meaning more, that's how more people get invested here.
Exactly.
And I love that.
And the atmosphere heightens as well. I think any which way you make about it, it's a culture cup. I think because they have a lot going on in terms of music, in terms of food, in terms of younger generation growing up there, and so do we. Like that's the beauty of it. But I do wonder if we're projecting our rivalry aspirations on them when they might not really care yet.
Please be our rival. I want you to be our rival. It's easier for 4 hours instead of 8. I want you to be our rival. If that means you have never mind. I don't want you to beat us at any point in time, but you get the point.
Exactly.
To start off with some of our transfer talk for the day, those Carlos Carmona rumors not going away just yet. Reports coming out indicating that he would sign a pre-contract at the end of the 2018 season to move back to his native Chile. Now, there's all sorts of reasons that have been mentioned for him doing this. His wife may be pregnant with their kids, just wanted to raise them back in his home country. And of course, when you've played away for so long, going home is never a problem.
Yeah.
I hope he stays. I like the idea that this is now saying he's leaving at the end of the 2018 season.
Right.
I think he's going to be a very important player for this season, and I'd hate to see him leave now, especially with it seems like the club's efforts focused more on Barco as opposed to trying to find another midfield player, because I really do think that United has probably the strongest midfield in the league. If he stays with Nagby and Lorenowitz, I think that's a very, very strong midfield. Exactly. So, what do you feel about those rumors? Because they won't go away.
Yeah, they definitely won't. And it seems like if it's at the end of the season, that would be most ideal. Because we're at a point in time where it would take us a little bit of time for scouting and for the transfer window to open up. I think it's a little rushed to find a replacement, and so if he stayed throughout the rest of the season, it gives us incredible depth. And I think personally he starts for me at the 6 for me.
I completely agree with you, especially at home. I mean, especially at home, I think you can get away with playing both him and Nagby.
Oh, for sure.
We touched on that last week with our lineups and everything.
For sure.
I mean, I think that he's that destroyer. He's that guy that can go around and break up the play, which frees up Nagby to be even more influential. And I mean, I think that's just another attacking talent to have. And you know, again,
I don't blame him.
No, I don't blame him for
wanting to raise his child there. I mean, for him to go back to his home country, and especially if it's a reported 3-year deal, that's a
big
great
for him.
retirement
I mean,
type of deal.
I just don't want him to leave just yet because I think he still has a part to play.
Exactly, and I think with us gunning for trophies, like he has such a big part that we would be remiss to let him go at any earlier point. And on to our next topic. Barco Watch is still in full effect. Atlanta United have reportedly offered $22 million for Ezequiel Barco. This from Cesar Merlo of TYC, an Argentine outlet, but it was quickly refuted by ESPN. They said that we didn't budge from our $12 million evaluation. And so my question to you, Tanner, is have we just been kind of played by all these reports, and is it just them placating, and is this all for optics because Independiente, they just had an election for their team president. They also are seriously in debt at about $30 million or so. So is this something that's really just for show?
I mean, I think if you haven't ever experienced a long, drawn-out transfer saga, here you go. This is how it goes. I mean, I think it's probably multifaceted. It didn't help that he had a sublime performance in the Sudamericana final. I mean, 2 penalties, absolute cool under pressure, played fantastic. They knew that interest was there already. They had interest from European clubs as well. So I think, if I was their president, honestly, I'd probably do the same thing. Even though as a United fan, it makes me a bit annoyed because it seemed like, everything was done and dusted. But if they are in that debt and he just got elected, he wants to show he's a strong president.
Right.
So he's going to want to get some more money. I mean, I think he's going to want to try and see if he can get a few more European clubs interested because that can drive up the price. And now I think the players come out and said almost he wants to go. ESPN mentioned that he'd give up $1 million of any signing fee that he'd have in order to come to United.
That's a big sign of, he really wants to come.
I think he wants to play for Tata.
Yeah,
very similar to Miguel. I think,
Huge
he's
part.
an Argentinian player who wants to play for an Argentinian manager who is a fantastic manager.
Right.
And I think he knows that if he comes to Atlanta, he's going to get that chance to play, that chance to shine, that chance to grow by playing in front of a big audience, by playing week in and week out, where he knows if he goes to, say, a team in Spain or a team in Italy or somewhere in Europe, he might not get that first team shot immediately, even if they pay big money for him, because as much as we think here, $12 million is a lot of money. I have no problem with Atlanta United paying 22. Absolutely. I want them to change the game. I tweeted as much yesterday when we were talking about, I want them to come out and say, this is how MLS does it. This is how we're going to do it. This is how the sport should be in this country. And I love that. I want that boldness. And you wonder if maybe, they have a lower fee for a higher sell-on clause or a higher fee and less of a sell-on clause. I mean, I want them to get the deal done if it's right. I think the player's willing, the club's willing. It's just, can they get Independiente to agree? And that's tough.
They're the ones drawing out the saga for sure because we've put out our evaluation of him, and so Independiente, it's all like the ball is in their court. So whether they actually want to pull the trigger or not, they want to have him play the next tournament. Like it's one of those, like they're just really drawing it out probably until summer, until maybe more bigger European teams can come into the fray, because really right now the other rumors of other European teams are a little unfounded. Doesn't really seem like it's very real. So really all the leverage is with us, so we don't have to go to this reported 22 million anyway. So for us to go way above there, even when the president said we won't be selling him for less than 20 million, we won't be selling him for less than 20 million, and we go 22 million, we don't need to do that. So it just seems odd.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a transfer saga. I mean,
For
you're
sure.
gonna get the craziness like this,
Yeah.
and you know, it's not the first, and it's definitely not gonna be the last. So
Right.
you know, again, we've talked about him for weeks on end now. I think we all know that we want the deal to get done. We all know
Right.
what we think about him, what a player he is, and what he would add to the team. But at this point, really, it's just gonna be really a waiting game and
Yeah.
seeing what happens. And unfortunately, you know, transfers can fall apart and transfers can get done. And
Right.
I really don't think we'll find out until next month, more than likely,
I
because
think so.
you know that's when the world transfer window really opens up. So I don't think that they can financially afford to hang on to him until summer, and I don't think
No.
United are
They need the
keen.
money.
United
Yeah.
are keen to wait until summer. I think United want him now because
Right.
they need him now. So. You know, if they end up paying a little bit more money, I'm fine with that. But you know, I guess we'll find out in the coming times. But I mean, the source has been pretty bang on this summer. He was
sure.
right about Escobar, so it's
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
there's got to be a little smoke with the fire here. So
Exactly. You know, I think there's probably a little bit more waiting, but you know, I think we're all hoping the deal's gonna be done. And on to our odds and ends. Jose Martinez wins the Premios Univision Deportes 2017 MLS Player of the Year. Congrats to our super striker on a well-deserved award.
a lot more to come, just like goals.
Exactly.
A lot more to come.
Oh, so excited for 2018 with him. Yeah. And Bobby Boswell, you freaking legend. He was watching Monday Night Football, Falcons versus Buccaneers, and he noted that there were more similarities between football and soccer than we thought. This sound guy toppled over very easily. Simulation, man.
Yellow
Like,
card. Diving
ridiculous.
form like that, you could play for Manchester City.
He was barely touched.
Yeah. Boswell, with the banter though.
Oh, man.
Quality, always
Dude.
in there.
Always. If you're not following him on Twitter,
It's
do it
worth
already.
it. It's worth it.
oh, you
White
just,
messy.
Yeah, white messy, entertainment for days. And on to our last topic, congrats to Julian Gressel for getting engaged. Gresselmania will become 2 in the near future. And as Atlanta United fan Jay Riddle pretty acutely pointed out, the international spot that would open up by him getting married, German with an American, is this a ploy from the Atlanta United front office to, you know, make an ingenious move to open up an international spot? We'll never know, but I think
Until,
it's,
of course, we open up an international spot. In which
Exactly.
case, we see you, Atlanta United.
oh, for sure.
We see you.
Winky face.
And we're going to actually move on from that to our question of the day as we wrap things up. This week, our question is, how do you feel about Atlanta United potentially paying more than $20 million for Ezekiel Barco? Because that's a big deal. So get in the comments, get on Twitter with the hashtag 5StriveWeekly. Let us know what you think about that. If you're comfortable, if you're not, love to hear from you guys.
So that's it for us today. Subscribe if you haven't already. Smash a like. And for Tanner McLeod, I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching.